What's going on, everybody? All right, it is the weekend, and boy, did I need a weekend. It was a long week. The live stream was a lot of fun on Tuesday, but it was a lot of work. And then Thursday night, I had open house back to school night at work because we started up the second semester. Lucy had a game Wednesday night. She had a game last night. It's been a long week, and it's a 3-day weekend, and I really, really needed it. Now, I've kind of been a little bit bummed out the last few days. I've been kind of melancholy, kind of in the dumps, and I haven't really known why. And it's probably several things. But one of the things is, sometimes I feel like maybe I'm a little misunderstood. And it's hard when you are posting these videos and people, maybe watch all of it, maybe watch part of it. They might critique it. We all have different perspectives. You're kind of putting yourself out there. And there are going to be a lot of opinions. And that's part of the point. Right? Part of the point is to just create dialogue and conversation. At least it is for me. It's not, I never have wanted to come across on here like I'm an expert. I have some knowledge, not like a lot of people have, but I definitely have opinions, and I definitely love talking about all this stuff. And there are times I think that maybe I don't communicate myself right. Maybe somebody else's background and what they bring in, their background that they bring into the discussion might affect what they hear, how they hear it. And that's all cool. But sometimes I walk away from doing videos and things, and I just go, I hope people don't think I'm saying this. All right. And the live stream was, it couldn't have been more fun. A ton of you showed up on Tuesday night. I had 3 of my favorite people on the panel with me. Absolutely had a blast. But I kind of went to bed that night thinking something, and it's kind of been on my mind. And I've also been thinking about starting to do a series where I was like, what should I call this? It's almost like Greg gets on his soapbox, but it's not really what's on my soapbox, or what it's not really getting on a soapbox and presenting opinions. It's just kind of sharing what's going on between my ears. And I was like, I just kind of want to share what's on my mind sometimes, instead of just answering a question that somebody else might have, sharing other people's thoughts and then giving my opinion of it, just kind of sharing what's on my mind. And so I just wanted to make sure, and I wanted to share, I should say, that we did this whole conversation about who will remain hobby relevant for the foreseeable future. That doesn't mean that we should only be collecting those cards of those players, right? I hope that goes without saying. Babe Ruth is, most people think, will be hobby relevant indefinitely. Jackie Robinson, same thing. Willie Mays and Mickey Mantle, same thing. Most of us can agree that those guys will remain hobby relevant indefinitely. And you can throw in some other name. A lot of people would say Ohtani. A lot of people would say Griffey. A lot of people would say Jeter. Whoever it is, insert the name of whoever you think fits that category. And that's what we talked about Tuesday. That's what the video was about on Monday. But that doesn't mean those are the only guys we should collect. Right? Like we all can agree on that, right? Is that doesn't mean that we shouldn't collect people who aren't on that list. If in 100 years they don't know the name Minnie Minoso, does that mean we shouldn't collect Minnie Minoso cards? No, I don't think that's not what it means for me. See, I collect cards because it's a good way to occupy. It's a healthy way to occupy my time. It's a way to connect with other people. It's a way for it's a window into learning history about different sports, including baseball. And and so I just wanted to make sure because it's been on my mind, and I feel like I need to vocalize this, that just because somebody is a for sure hobby relevant name indefinitely does not mean that those are the only people that we should be collecting. In fact, I collect a lot of guys that will certainly not, they may not even be relevant now. I'm definitely collect people who aren't hobby relevant now. So we need to make sure that we're collecting things that bring us joy, right? That's number one. That's first and foremost. Now, another thing I wanted to say is that I've had a few people reach out to me over the last few weeks. And a question that I've gotten several times is, Greg, why do you think that your channel has gained some traction? And why do you think you tend to have built a community with your audience? And those questions it's probably come up 5 times in the last 3 weeks. That question, that conversation with other people. And the thing about it is I think the reason is because what I try to do with the channel, the whole point of the channel, was not to be all about Greg and not to be all about Greg's collection and not be all about Greg's cards. The point of this channel was to give everyone in the YouTube community, whether you have a channel, don't have a channel, comment, don't comment, to give everybody the opportunity to be heard and be a participant. You know, the monthly pickups, the community pickups that I've been doing for, 13, 14 months, whatever it is. Like, that's your opportunity to share your card. You don't need a channel. You can be a participant. I use other people's responses and comments to my videos in my videos. So you don't have to have a channel. You just have to leave a comment. People post questions and I bring those up as topics. That's the only reason that I think that my channel has gained traction. People don't come to this channel to get a full history of cards and sets and varieties and players. At least I don't think that they do. I think that the point, and I think that the draw, is this is a place to hang out with other collectors and be a participant without the need of creating a channel. I mean, Mike Petty doesn't have a channel, right? I mean, there are a lot of people who don't have channels, but they're definitely participants. So I wanted to just kind of throw that out there. So why am I bringing that up? Again, this is what's on my mind right now, and I just wanted to kind of share what's on my mind. So again, number one, I wanted to make sure everybody understands that my point of view is not that we should only be collecting hobby relevant players. We should be collecting whatever brings us joy. And number two, one of the reasons I don't show cards as often on my channel is because the channel was never designed to really be about me. I'm just the facilitator of people who love cards and want to communicate about them and talk about them and share thoughts about them. I'm just a facilitator. I'm like the moderator at the debate. I'm the talk show host. It's not about my opinion. It's about Well, part of it's my opinion, but part of it is everyone's opinion. So I wanted to just say those things because they're on my mind right now. And then what I wanted to do is I wanted to share some of my cards of guys who aren't in the discussion for permanent hobby relevance. I wanted to show you some of my childhood cards that I've never shown. I'm going to show some cards that were super important cards to me as a kid that I've never shown on the channel. Some of them I have, some of them I haven't. I also wanted to show some of the cards that I absolutely love in my collection that are not cards that are of those always going to be hobby relevant people. So I wanted to take a second to do that. I also wanted to share a big addition. It took me 11 minutes. I see it right there on the clock, right there. It says it's been 11 minutes to even get to the fact that there was a big addition to the collection, which I'm going to share right here for the first time. So some of my childhood cards, some of my favorite cards in my collection of guys that are not likely to be hobby relevant for the foreseeable future, and a big addition to the collection. Let me show you some of my cards. So my collection has a lot of guys like Monty Irvin, just an absolute star. Was a star in the Negro Leagues and then in the Major Leagues. This is his 51 Bowman rookie card. I just think it's a beautiful, beautiful image. He also has a 51 Topps, but to me, this is his main rookie card, and I'm thrilled to have it in my collection. I think the eye appeal on it is fantastic. It's crazy affordable. This guy was like the cleanup guy for World Series teams for the New York Giants. Love that card. How about another rookie card from the Bowman set? This is a 52 Bowman. Now, Minnie Minoso has a Topps rookie card, which is his more expensive one from the 52 Topps set. And the 52 Bowman. I personally like this image of him better. I picked this card up on Whatnot. It was under $200. It received a 4 grade. I think it's got fantastic eye appeal. Sometimes the color's a little bad on these, but this one has really beautiful color. Love this Minnie Minoso rookie card. Happy to have that in my collection. And then how about a Larry Doby? Now, I am a Larry Doby fan. I don't have his rookie card. He's got a Bowman. He's got a Leaf. Both are pretty expensive, but the 1950 Bowman Larry Doby is a very, very affordable card. I actually bought this one ungraded and submitted it to PSA. It got a 2. Does that look like a 2 to you guys? To me, this is exactly what I'm looking to buy. A beautiful card with a low grade. The color, the centering, the eye appeal. I also have his 51 Bowman. Love this 1950 Bowman card. What about Carl Yastrzemski? I mean, here's his rookie card, or you could call it a pre-rookie. He started playing in 61. This is a 1960. I thought this was a super sharp card. Crazy affordable. Again, notice the grades on these. 3s, 4s, 2s. The 1960 Yastrzemski is a very affordable card, and one of the things that happens with this card, focus a little bit better there. One of the things that happens with this card is it gets a lot of those print dots on it, and this one doesn't really have much of that. And I thought the centering was great and the color was great. Those are 4 very affordable cards. Now, I also collect golf cards, and I haven't shown, I think I've shown this card, but it's been a while. A 1931 Churchman, Prominent Golfers. Now, there's a
a big and a small version of this. This is a small version. It's like the T206 size. The big is wider. It's the same picture. This card's a 3. And that's of Bobby Jones. And then I have another golf card I wanted to show because I haven't shown it in a long time, if at all. This is Harry Vardon, if that name sounds familiar. The scoring average player of the year on the PGA Tour is called the Vardon Trophy. And this is why. This was he was a British in the UK, won several majors, the Open Championship included, and this is a beautiful Ogden card that I love having that one too. Now, as kind of a run-up for the new edition, I wanted to show a couple of my Sammy Baugh cards. So I wanted to show my 1952 Bowman and my 1951 Bowman. The 52 that you just saw, I picked up at Strongsville. This 51 is a card I got on eBay. And one of the players, vintage football players I've got a run of, is Sammy Baugh. And so I just thought, I think this is a gorgeous card. But a recent addition, brand new, first time on the channel, is the Sammy Baugh rookie card. Now, the 48 Leaf Sammy Baugh is his premier card. And just like most Leaf cards, registration is tough, color is tough, centering is tough. And this one has all 3 check marks there. Look at the clean back. Look at how well that thing is centered. I'm thrilled to have that added to the collection. And that was a gift given to me. And I'll just leave it at that. But absolutely thrilled to have it. Thank you. I know the person who gave it is watching. Next, some of my childhood cards. Remember starting lineups? Well, I was a kid who played with them, so I opened them up, but kept the cards clean. I had this starting lineup. Now, as a kid, my favorite football player, even to this day, all time, is Roger Craig. Got that signed with him with all the inscriptions. I got this Chris Mullen via TTM, this Chris Mullen auto, part of the Dream Team in 92. And I grew up right between Sacramento and San Francisco. So as a kid, I was a Warriors fan. When I moved to Sacramento, I became a Kings fan. And then another TTM as a kid is this Mike Schmidt. In the back of the Beckett magazine, they had the address for all the stadiums. And I sent this off to Philadelphia. And it came back signed with the self-addressed stamp envelope. So the best third baseman of all time, I would say. Autographed for free via TTM. Again, I was probably 11 when I got that returned in the mail, and I've had it ever since. More cards from my childhood. One of the guys I play or collected was Will Clark. Love Will Clark. Remember the rookies cards that Donruss put out? It's like a little box set. And you'd buy the whole box set, and it would have all the different rookies with the rookies. Brutally tough borders. How about this guy? I loved Fred McGriff as a kid. I've had this card, oh man, probably since 1991, 1990, 1989, something like that. Had it in my collection ever since. Loved this card. You know Fred McGriff, not just as a power hitter, but also the infomercial guy, right?
Superstar Fred McGriff agrees.
I'm so impressed with the instructional videos by Coach Amansky that I've given them my full endorsement. When you watch them, you'll know why.
Baseball World's Defensive Drill video makes a great gift and benefits players of all ages and ability levels.
How many times did we see that Tom Amansky video on ESPN? My goodness. My big cards as a kid, I was a Clemens fanatic. And this is my 85 Topps Roger Clemens from my childhood. I searched long and hard for the right one. You'll notice how it's perfectly centered. No, Dylan, double D, you're not the reason that I like centered cards. I've liked centered cards my whole life. And this 85 Topps Clemens has been in my collection for a very long time. Now, I also got the 85 Fleer. You'll notice my centering issues were side to side, not top to bottom. This one is a little heavy on the top. But side to side, you'll notice all these Clemens cards in my collection are pretty much 50-50 left to right. And I looked for a long time for the right 85 Fleer Clemens. I've never shown this card on the channel or that Topps. And I've not shown my 85 Donruss Clemens. Now, this is the one that took the longest to find. The black border is just brutal. And I wanted perfect corners. I wanted perfect side-to-side centering. And if you look closely here, I'm going to kind of zoom in and focus it right on the corner. You see that corner? You see that the issue there on the surface? How about on that corner? Some of you already know how that happened. And then on the bottom corners, same thing. All four corners have a little bit of surface issue there. How'd that happen? Well, yeah, I had my cards in screw-down cases. And what did that do? It damaged them because they were screwed down too tight. And this card was in a screw-down for many, many years. But it still is. It will always be my 85 Donruss Roger Clemens rookie card. And then last but not least, I've shown this card before. Of all the cards in my collection, this is probably my favorite card. This card right here. I told the story about how I won a raffle. The raffle prize was a gift certificate for the card show. And I used the money to buy it. I was probably in 4th or 5th grade. So I was 9 or 10 years old when I got this card. This will always be my favorite card in my collection. And pretty much none of those guys are players that are on the always going to be relevant in the hobby list. Collect what you like. That's really the whole point of doing this, right?